I was 19 years old when my sister and I were both offered the opportunity to run our own painting franchise. My sister thought, what an opportunity. Me, I was like, no way. No way am I gonna believe that I can make as much money as this guy is telling me. I'm a skeptic, right? Why should I trust you? I just met you. So, my sister did it for the first year, and I sat back. I didn't really sit back, actually. I followed her for every step of the way. I watched what she did. I helped her along the way, helped prep the houses, helped carry materials between the different properties. I watched every step. And then as I began to see her get business and be able to do it, by the time the second year came around, in my mind I thought, if she can do it, I can do it better. Sounds a little harsh, but I knew that I was willing to work 10 times, not even 10 times, probably 20 times what she was willing to work. And that is why, if she could do it, I could do it better. So the second year came around, and I signed that paperwork. I said I was gonna do it. I was excited to get started. And then the season actually started. And it all began to sink in. Holy shit. What have I gotten into? I know nothing about painting. I know nothing about running my own business. And here I am, a university student, supposed to be running a franchise. So the fear of failure began to sink in, and it sank in hard. And there was no way in hell that I was going to allow anybody to see me fail. Because if that business failed, it said everything about who I was. That meant that I would be a failure. And so I worked so damn hard. I worked 16-hour days, 6 days a week. I was pushing, I was proving, I was getting the jobs. I had tons of happy clients. And then one day, my entire body just went so numb. My vision began to go blurry. My face was weird and numb and achy. And I went to the hospital. The doctors took tons of tests and looked into me and poked and prodded and did all the things. They looked at me and said, Jennifer, we don't know why you're here. You're fine. You know what? The doctors didn't ask me anything about my life. My parents didn't have the insight to say, hey, Jennifer, maybe you're going a little bit too hard. But you know what? I didn't have the insight either. I just knew that success meant I was bringing in big dollars. I had a team underneath me, happy clients around me. That's what success is. Well, fast forward a number of years when you think maybe I would have learned my lesson, but the truth is I didn't, right? Because that's what success is. It's all those external metrics. So I was working as a project manager for a general contractor running multi-million-dollar projects. I freaking gave that job my all. And I had 2 boys at home that needed me so badly. They needed me so badly. And I kept hearing this voice as I noticed how damn exhausted that I was. How I had started to become a different person, somebody who I didn't recognize, who I'd never seen in my life before. And this voice began saying to me, Jennifer, you need to start taking care of yourself. But then quickly, the other voice shouted out, you don't got time for that, right? And it was like this back and forth. But I knew enough that I needed to listen to the self-care voice, maybe just a little bit. Like maybe it meant enough that I could just go to yoga once every couple of weeks. And there was this aerial yoga class. So for any of you who aren't familiar with it, it's this beautiful piece of silky fabric that hangs in a U from the ceiling. You can hang from it and do inversions and stretch out and decompress your spine. You can do flips and tricks and stretches. I loved the class. So I made it through the end of class. I'm laying there in Shavasana in this fabric, right? I'm like cocooned. And there's a gentle sway to the fabric, back and forth. I felt safer than I had in a really long time. My body was at complete ease. And that's when the tears just started pouring down my face. And I soon began to realize I'm in a public setting, in a room filled with strangers. I'd come by myself. I was incredibly thankful that it was the end of class. I needed to only make it a few more moments before I could go to my vehicle and be in the safety of my vehicle. Class ended and I ran to my vehicle and I got there and I saw myself and I felt myself in ways like I had never experienced before. And I was banging that steering wheel and I was screaming. I was pulling at my hair. I was shaking. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't know how I made it home safely that night, but I am so thankful that I did. In the coming days and coming weeks, my husband saw some of this because we lived in the same four walls, and there was no hiding it from him. I didn't really know how to explain it because I didn't understand what was going on. I was too damn afraid to share this with my best friend, with my mom, with my sister, with the doctor. Because heaven forbid, if anybody knew what I was going through, that would somehow steal away from the success I had worked so damn hard to achieve. Well, I'm incredibly glad I'm really resilient and that I knew I needed to find a different way to achieve success because I knew that success wasn't meant to be something that I just checked off the boxes. Isn't success supposed to feel good inside of your body? And so I sat down and I got serious with myself. And I asked myself, what definition of success would allow me to thrive? And that's when I began to create the more holistic approach because I knew that I thrive when I move my body consistently, regularly. And it had been years. So I implemented a new routine. I began to live a holistic approach so that I could feel good in my body. And 7 years ago was the last time that I burnt out, and never will I allow myself to just simply check off the boxes. Thank you.